Good evening, professor and classmates. We are pleased to present our group work for the subject General Linguistics. Our topic in this case is the branches of linguistics. In this presentation, we will explain the 5 main branches: phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. Each member of the group will focus on one specific branch. We hope you enjoy it and find it useful. Let's begin.
My name is Katy Casamin. I will talk about phonology. Definitions. Phonology is the study of how speech, sounds, phonemes functions within a language system. In English, it examines patterns, combinations, and their role in meaning. Differences between phonetics and phonology. Phonetics studies the physical productions and perceptions of sounds. Phonology focuses on abstract patterns and structures. Similarities. Both analysis speech, sounds, phonetics addresses their physical forms, while phonology focuses on their function. Object of study. Phonemes, sound units that change meaning, P versus B in fat versus bat. System and patterns of English organized sounds. Phonological process changes such as assimilations, inputs, additions, fractions, and insertions are the adjectives. Main concepts and theories. Phonemes and allophones, distinct sounds versus variations, aspirate in top. Phonetic constants, meaning changing differences of the sheets versus the zip. Syllabic structure, open syllables, V versus closed cut. Intonations and stress, influence meaning and highlighted head words. Practical examples. Example 1. The difference between R and L in right and like change meaning. Vowel contracts like E, sit versus it, sit are fundamental. Example 3, phonological process such as flipping in American English transform T into D like sounds of butter. Explains how sounds convey meaning. It's teaching English pronunciations, highlights variations across English dialects. Relationships to other branches. Phonetics studies physical sounds. Morphology examines sound changes in word forms. Physical linguistics explores brain processes of phonemes. Social linguistics studies social influences on pronunciation. Practical applications, language teachings, pronunciation, listening, speech recognition, technology, forensic linguistics, speaker identification, accent analysis, dialect analysis of British versus American. Conclusions. English phonology helps understand sound systems, supports language learning, and informs technology and linguistic research. Phonetic chart. The English phonetic chart includes 44 distinct sounds represented using the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, divided into consonants and vowels. It is essential for studying and teaching pronunciation effectively. Thank you.
My name is Melanie Lucio, and my topic is morphology. Definition. Morphology is a branch of linguistics that deals with the study of the form and structures of words in a language. The term morphology is Greek and is a combination of morpho, meaning form, shape, and ology, meaning the study of something. Basic units are morpheme, lexeme, and affix. Word types by structure. Simple is single morpheme, for example, book. Derivate is lexeme plus affixes, for example, unhappy. Compound is multiple lexemes, for example, rainbow. Parasynthetic is hybrid formation, for example, pickpocket. Hormology across languages is analytic language is used very few noun-bound morphemes or are typical monophonetic, and the grammar relies on word order and auxiliary words. For example, in Chinese, Tati, meaning he eats fish. The plurality is men, is optionally, for example, tamen, meaning they. Synthetic language were formed by combining multiple morphemes, roots plus affixes. For example, hablar, to speak, and hable, I spoke. The letter A merged tense, person, and number. Agglutinative languages is morphemes are strung together like verbs, each with a single grammatical function. Boundaries between morphemes are clear. The word iflidendang. It is a Turkish word, so that you understand better is evledindem. Ep, meaning casa. Ler is a plural. Im, meaning my, and den, meaning of or from. And the word ifledindam, meaning from my houses or from my homes. Functional language morphemes merge into a single form, often including multiple grammatic features simultaneous. For example, amo, I love, letter O, first person singular, present active. Types of morphemes are only two types, inflectional and derivational. Now I'm going to tell you some of the many morphological processes is inflection, derivation, compounding, conversion, and clipping, blending, and acronyms. Allophones occur due to phonological rules, for example, im, better before labial sounds, for example, impossible, but intolerant, can be conditioned by grammar, for example, English past tense, the ed has t, d, and id sounds, walked, played, wanted. And reduplication, full entire word repeat, night night, or partial, only part, TikTok, common in a language like Tagalog. For example, Billy means buy, and Bibili meaning will buy. Thank you.
My name is Pablo Medina, and on this part of this presentation, I'm going to talk about syntax. Syntax is one of the key branches of linguistics. So, what is syntax? Syntax is the study of how words are arranged, create sentences that are both grammatically correct and meaningful. Basically, it focuses on the structure of sentence in order of the order of the words. That order is super important because if we change it, the meaning can change too. Or the sentence might not even make sense anymore. The object of the study of the syntax is the rules that determines how words are combined into phrases and sentences. Let's look at this simple example. She eats an apple. Here we can identify the structure known as SVO in English, subject, verb, and object. So she, in this case, is the subject, eats is the verb, and an apple is the object. Now, if we say eats she an apple, that sentence sounds weird in English. That's because the word order is incorrect according to English syntax rules. So syntax helps us organize words correctly to make sure our message is clear and grammatically accurate. Key concepts. Now let's talk about some key concepts in syntax. First, let's look at the sentence structure. This means the different parts of a sentence are combined. There are basically three basic types. The first one is a simple sentence. This has just just has one subject and one predicate. For example, she runs. Second, a compound sentence. This connects two independent clauses using a conjunction, like she runs and he walks. In this case, the conjunction is and. And third one is a complex sentence. It has an independent clause and an independent clause separately but joining at the same time. For example, she runs because she loves it. Now, let's go over the parts of the speech that are important in syntax. Each one plays a role in sentence structure. We have nouns that are names of people, things, or ideas. For example, dog, house, freedom, idea, etc. Verbs shows actions or states of being, like run, speak, or be. Adjectives describe or modify nouns. For instance, big, happy, blue. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Some examples are quickly, very well. Pronouns replace nouns to avoid repetition, like he, she, we, I, you. Determiners introduce nouns and tell us which one. For example, the, a, my. Auxiliary verbs help the main verbs form tenses or moods. For instance, have, will, can. And also here in this part, we have also the modal verbs that I can mention. Conjunctions link words, phrases, or clauses like and, but, or. And prepositions show the relationship between a noun and another word in a sentence, like on, under, in, etc. All these parts work together, and syntax decide how they are arranged to form sentences that make sense. Now let's talk about why syntax is important. Syntax is essential because it helps us form grammatically correct sentences. It allows us to communicate clearly and express complete thoughts in a way that order can understand. Take this sentence for example. The teachers are working tireless to help their students succeed. This sentence is complex, but thanks to proper syntax, it's clear, organized, and easy to understand. Now, how does syntax connect to other areas of linguistics? It works closely to semantics because in order to express meaning, we need to arrange words properly. If the structure is wrong, the meaning can get lost. Syntax also connects with morphology. Morphology deals with the structure of words, while syntax deals with the structure of sentences. They work together to form complete and correct expressions. More of this, my classmates are going to talk about more of these topics. So in short, syntax is like the blueprint to build sentences. Without it, our language would be messy, confusing, and much harder to understand. Thank you.
I'm Sebastian Molina, and I'm going to talk about semantics. Semantics is the branch of language that focuses on the study of meaning in language. When grammar tells us how to form a sentence correctly, semantics helps us understand what a sentence really means. It's what allows go beyond just word and start making sense of the messages in them. Every time we speak, read, or write, we're not just using language, we're trying to express ideas, emotions, or tensions. And that's where semantics play a key role. For example, say a sentence like, he saw the man with the telescope. That could mean that he used the telescope to see the man, or the man had the telescope. two different meanings or one sentence. That's ambiguity and semantics help us to resolve. But semantics isn't just about figuring out a confusing sentence. It also helps understand humor, sarcasm, metaphors, dual meanings, and emotional tone. Think about this. If someone says, "Whoa, amazing," after rubbing their phone in water, you know they are not actually happy about it. Semantics teach to read between the lines to catch the real meaning, not just literal one. This becomes even more powerful when realize the context can completely change what a word or sentence means. For example, the word light can refer to something not heavy or to brightness. Without the right context, we wouldn't know which one is being used. Semantics help us interpret this meaning thoroughly, so we don't misunderstand each other. This is also extremely important in fields like translation. A word in one language doesn't always carry the exact meaning in another, and translator need to understand not just what they, but what it means in law. Semantics is critical because a single word in a contract or a legal decisions can have several consequences. In education, teachers really also manage to explain literary, analyzing text, and teach critical thinking. And even in technology, especially and artificial intelligence, semantics plays a central role. When you tell a voice assistant like Siri or Alexa, or when you chat with AI tools like GPT, you are not just processing words. They're trying to understand what you mean. That thanks to semantics analysis, it helps machines get closer to how humans think and communicate. Social media too. Semantics help us to get the joke, understand memes, and know when someone is being ironic. Without semantics, our digital conversation will feel fatter and robotic. So why doesn't it? What does all this matter? Because language is the most powerful tool we have to connect it with others. But without understanding meaning, real communication is impossible. Semantics allow us to express ourselves clearly, avoid misunderstanding, and truly understand the people around us. It's what gives deep emotion and intention to the word we use, and about how we make sense of the world, how we share ideas, and how we relate to one another through work. And that's what makes it so important, everything we do.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Ponce, and my topic about is the pragmatics. The pragmatics framework for analysis is proposed is as a chorus again, where context functions and student marker center around the question under this concept between interlocutors. This is modern integrals and compositional semantic dynamics, treating the utterance, the context, and the tuple, the different types of information. This question is the context, represent as a set of alternative propositions, govern the appropriate flow of the discourse, and intervention meets a relevant requirement only if they address the requirements in the discourse. Linguistic pragmatics focus in the how people use language, the social context to convey meaning beyond the literal meaning of words. It examines how a speaker intention, conversational context, and other factors influence how they interpret and the endorsing utterance. And essential pragmatics explore the inside of communication, such as simple meanings, conversational implications, and speed as. The key concept pragmatic is interview context. Pragmatics emphasizing and the role the context and shaping meaning that includes physical, social, cultural, and linguistic environment. The speeds as pragmatics study the underperformed action such as promise, recur, ordinary, conversational, implicative. What should by the not explicit states refers to meaning that are not explicit or state, but are implied by the speaker based on context and conversational rules. Theoretical or structure pragmatics examine how the speaker organizes language to achieve specific theoretical effects such as persuasion and clarification. Informational structure focus in how speakers choose to present information in a sentence, distinguish between not a given information. What and the different unlike semantic or syntax in focus and meaning in interaction. In the focus in primaries, how a speaker understands and the prose meaning below literal. Importance on language of teaching specialty second language in a cultural communication is score analysis and versus and merit. What primary matters? Interesting matters. Communication, pragmatic, health, interesting, the news and human communication, including why someone might indirect language or are examining in the meaning of interpersonal communication, language communication. Speak and theory, Austin Serley. Speech are communication behaviors performed through language. When I speak, are not just saying things, whereas also doing things with words, such as promising, opposing, ordering, and looking. Locutionary act. This is a produce many for linguistic expressions, including the phonetic, the platic act, the rhetoric act. Locutionary act, this is ending meaning the function behind the unders, what the speaker to achieve. Types the locutionary act, assertive, directives, comments, expresses, declarations. Perlocutionary act, this is effects and under of the listening. The perlocution depend for the listening interpret to respond to the under. The cooperative principle in interview is quantitative, qualitative, relation, meaning, and the politeness theory, the Brown and Levinson interview the positive phase and negative phase. And conclusion, and the application of pragmatics language teaching, how learning understanding imply meanings, politics, and tone. Artificial intelligence enable machines to understand user intentions. Business and marketing, message strategies, persuasion, and customer relations. In media discourse analysis, understand hidden message and the heuristics. Thank you.